In 2025, the US government began to accept Bitcoin. Then they said, hey, guess what? We are now in the future. We want to agree with it. We'd like to be in charge. We never thought that what we saw in the last 24 hours would happen. This needs to be fixed. We also need to talk about it. Yes, we will talk about this in great depth, going over each step, because this news seems to be swirling with a lot of drama again. There are many people who are scared about it. There is a lot of FUD about XRP because of this. We should talk about this, of course. But first, let's go back to the end of July when the White House told us the big news. It was finally time for the crypto report to go public. Cryptocurrency is seen as an important part of America's future by the Trump government. They call it a change from the people that needs our attention. The U.S. wants to be the crypto capital of the world. Also, this government paper is crazy to be getting to us. A lot of people still don't think it's crazy. I don't mean to be rude, but I think what most of the newbies think. A lot of people who are into crypto right now are just getting started. They have no idea what happened before. In the past, like in 2020 and 2017, they weren't here. It's crazy to think that the White House would put out a paper about crypto and say that crypto is the future. After the Gendler age, we never thought we'd get to this point, which, when you think about it, gave us PTSD. For crypto veterans, it's almost like a dream. That doesn't change the fact that the market is where it is now, though. That's where this stuff is right now. Getting the okay and that trust vote that says, hey, guess what? This stuff can change the way money moves around the world. The way money moves and works could change a lot because of this. You know, we could even put these kinds of things on the blockchain and trade them around the clock, every day, 7 days a week. The government is telling us this, which is similar to what crypto can now do. We've known about it for a long time, but the government never really told us about it. That's not all, though. This comes from John Squire. According to the White House, a strategic digital asset reserve would help with control, make the reserve more useful, and make sure that rules are followed. That's where XRP really shines. It's made for shared funds and can grow quickly. This paper says it's okay for. You can use crypto in the real world. And yes, it's really true. These are the 2 pages of this paper that we can look at. The first is a plan that these executive orders make. The manager will be in charge of the stockpile's deposit. They are going to set up an office to handle and keep an eye on the reserve's custodial accounts. What's in the collection will be backed up by lost digital assets or digital assets that belong to the U.S. government. However, digital goods that were lost, because they had to be used to meet legal goals and will continue to be used to do so. They will be used to support law enforcement operations that are fairly split between state and local law enforcement partners and to meet other standards of the statutory forfeit program. For example, they will be used to pay crime victims who can be identified and verified. It is possible that the Bitcoin in the reserve will not be sold. It will be kept as a backup asset by the U.S. government instead, so it can be used to meet government goals in a way that follows the law. But this is mostly just a list of who would own these assets and how the government would use them. Could be used with crypto, for sure. We also have a full breakdown of how to make the United States a leader in digital banking technology over here. In the digital age of banking, this is what keeps stablecoins backed by the dollar going. On top of that, they allow utility-based projects and have given the green light to many great crypto companies that have been working hard to be fully legal and use these networks for specific reasons. Ripple is changing the way money moves around the world with XRP and the XRPPL. Besides that, we have something from Howard Lutnick over here. That's the big news from the past 24 hours. We now have the numbers. Since the start of the year, the GDP has grown by 3.3%. The Commerce Gov has put U.S. economic data on the blockchain for the first time ever. The U.S. is the leader in crypto and economic growth, and workers are getting ahead. This is all thanks to President Trump. Take a look. The GDP numbers that came out this morning are very good. Also, I hope, this video stays on YouTube. I'm sure they're going to. This video doesn't need to be played right now. I'll just get the price. It's already open. I'm going to do it now so YouTube doesn't mute it. Sorry, but YouTube is really annoying right now, and I don't want to bother you or cut up your video in any way. The U.S. Department of Commerce, on the other hand, says that we are solidifying our place as the blockchain hub of the world. It makes sense to make economic data public, the Commerce Department and President Donald Trump, the crypto president, must work together. The economic truth about America will not change, and the blockchain will make it more open to the world than ever before. This makes it even more clear that we are the blockchain capital of the world, and everyone should agree that a 3.3% rise in GDP is pretty cool. Howard Lutnick said this. The quote in this video is the same. There must have been a lot more that he talked about, but I'm sorry that. YouTube was a real pain. This is still a very important matter. Many people became scared because, guess what? They used for this chain of links. Chainlink has always been important to me. I think Chainlink is a great project in this area. It's a blue chip. XRP was something that everyone was thinking about, though, and not using it. Why did they not want to use Ripple? Chainlink is not the same as Ripple, and Link is not the same as XRP. They look at two very different. Since it's a data warehouse, they could be used in many ways. This works best with Chainlink. It gives SAP information. This is another reason why many players, even Ripple, work with Chainlink on some projects. But now you can see the whole story. Chainlink and the US Department of Commerce work together to put info about the government on the chain. Why does this not bother me at all when it comes to XRP or something? Because this is how Chainlink works again. That's how everything works, right? Several blockchains now store important US economic data. These are avalanche-based. Bonix, Ethereum, Linea, Mantle, Optimism, Sonic, and ZKYNC. With Chainlink data sources, you can do this. There are definitely a few more. One of them is XLM, but this is how it works. This CA can connect to any blockchain. You can see that it doesn't matter if XRP was picked. You can connect to any blockchain, even XRP. Again, the word link makes everyone think of XRP right away. The word link chain. That was a stupid thing to do. That is such a stupid thing to think. It's not about competition at all. It's about how these different parts work together to support these important uses and aid in the growth of crypto. I'm really glad about this. Wormhole is also a big part of this. So we have this over here as well. The U.S. Department of Commerce has picked the Pyth network for the Wormhole ecosystem to check and share economic data on the ground. Chain. Wormhole will make it possible for all multi-chain data to work together. This is how it all ends. The news that Lutnick and Trump shared today is a big step forward for the use of autonomous technology. They say that Pyth is the safest way to send data across various chains, and that wormholes are the safest way to get data from one source to another. At first, this integration will only offer Python updates every 3 months for GDP numbers from the last 5 years. The people who worked on this project want to make it bigger so that it can handle more sets of economic data. Along with Wormhole, Python can now make sure that official data is published across chains in a way that can't be changed and can be checked cryptographically. Our government can now use autonomous technology in a much better way thanks to this. Come back over here. Wormhole and Ripple have worked together to make the XRP system multi-chain usable, which makes sense since this comes from Bank XRP. Yeah, that was also made public in June. There might be a quote from David Schwartz too, even though someone posted it, but I lost it. I'm only using what I know. Though I do know that this is a very important piece of news for XRP from June. Again, this might help people learn about XRP. You can use this to join to any net, blockchain, or network in this area. But this is just the beginning of how the US government will use blockchain. This makes no sense to me. It's a strong sign of hope. Don't forget that in. The US government said in January of this year that it would use blockchain technology, which was made in the US, to save money and make things more open. Choose wisely. This is mine.